തീർക്കാൻ പറ്റുമെങ്കിൽ തീർക്കടാ.
The team of King of Kotha just dropped the rap video of the film, and we know it's going to be another gangster film like hundreds of gangster films we've all seen before. But the question is, why are we still excited? Hello and welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today's video is about why we love gangster movies even though it's such an overdone genre. Firstly, it offers an escapism to a parallel world. A lot of us watch movies to escape our own real life and our own problems, and every movie has its own world, like The Martian, which is set on Mars, where the gravitational force is less than half of that of the Earth, or in the Bahubali universe, where there is no gravity. But most of these scenarios or these worlds are completely unrealistic, even though you buy into the world while watching the movie. But what if a movie could be happening in the same streets that you grew up in, the same streets that you walk in every day? Like Ram Gopal Varma's Satya, it takes the life of gangsters and explores what they do when they're not killing people, what they do at home, what kind of fights they have with their wives. I've lived in Mumbai for around 5 years, and to imagine that in the same places that I used to go to, like Bandra Bandstand or Marine Drive, to imagine that maybe a real gangster like Satya could have sat there sometime along with his girlfriend on a date. I've also lived in Chennai for most of my life, and to think in such an orthodox city, there's an other side to the city, like how they show in Pudupeta, where someone like Dhanush's character Kokki Kumar, maybe someone like him would have been peddling drugs in the same street that I used to walk, or going to the brothel in the same area, which I've never ever seen in my real life. When you read about a crime happening in your city as a bit news in a newspaper, and then you find out that the people behind these crimes could be walking, could be moving around the same place as you grew up, it's really scary, but it also gives you this strange kind of high, like a realistic escapism. Flamboyant characters. Just take the Gangs of Wasseypur universe. There's a character called Perpendicular who keeps playing with a blade in his mouth, and he uses that blade to slit the throats of his enemies. His friend's name is Tangent, and after watching Munna Bhai MBBS, Perpendicular renames Tangent to Circuit. Perpendicular's stepbrother is called Definite, who on a random day picks up this big snake from the street and he just carries it around. And when someone asks him, why are you doing this? He just says, "Aise hi sexy lag raha tha," because it looked sexy. If you spot someone in the street wearing white and white clothes and so many multiple gold chains around their neck, you're going to stare at him. But that's what Raghu from Vastav likes to wear, and he doesn't care about your approval. But if he catches you staring at him, the rules of regular society don't apply to gangsters. They don't give a damn about what society thinks, so everything that they do, the things that they wear, the way they speak, even their names, they are flashy, they're flamboyant, and so interesting that they become a part of pop culture, and they remain in our memories much more than your regular good guy characters. High stakes. One of the main reasons why Game of Thrones is so successful is because the character that you get attached to over seasons or episodes, you know that they can be killed off any moment. This adds so much more tension and excitement to the show because you're constantly wondering whether your favorite character is going to survive or not. The gangster film as a genre itself applies the same logic. Their world is one without laws, without morals, without following society's code, but they have their own code where betrayal means, competition means. So by nature, the stakes are always high, and so is the tension and the excitement. Elevation scenes, the build-up stories to the entry shot, the flashy dialogues.
I am the CEO of Delver Steel, Texas. I am also CEO. Which one? India.
Grungy background music, and of course, slow motion. And when all of these elements come together, even an actor like Bobby Simha, who was not very well known at that time when Jigardanda came out, when every other character in that film builds up to how dangerous this gangster Assault Sethu is, and how for the first time when Sethu pulls up in his vintage red Mercedes and he opens the door, takes a bottle of water to just wash his face in slow motion. Of course, the gangster genre is engineered to generate whistles at constant intervals with scenes like this. And finally, gangster films offer catharsis. I'll tell you the dictionary meaning of catharsis later, but first let me give you a very relatable example. In the context of this video, I want you to think about most people in this world, including yourself. Mostly, you're a regular person, you're working a regular job, getting a regular salary to fulfill most of your regular needs, which is hardly enough to fulfill the rest of your desires. But still, you pay taxes on everything, whether it's milk or oil or beer, and you work hard to save whatever money you can during the month for yourself or your family. With those savings, maybe you can buy something you want, but mostly you're not going to do that. You're going to put it in the bank as an investment, or for the rest of your needs and desires, you're going to take loans from the bank who are going to charge you an interest rate, and you're going to spend the rest of your life paying back that money plus interest. The biggest crime you may have committed in your life is maybe that you didn't wear a helmet, maybe you cut a signal, and for this crime, you have either paid a fine or a bribe to the police officer to just let you go. And what do you get for being this regular, mostly law-abiding citizen? Zero. Roads are bad, fuel is expensive, rent is high, there's every kind of pollution that you can think of, women are not safe, children are not safe. Life by default for you is a struggle, and the government, the police and the system, they make sure that you'll keep struggling. And all of this causes some anger to build up inside you, and you don't know where to take it out, and out of nowhere, it bursts out on your friends, your family, girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, kids. But when you enter the movie theater, when you watch a gangster movie, when you see Rocky Bhai, who started in the same place or a much worse place as you, rise up above the ranks and grows up to unleash hell on his enemies, the government, the cops, or any powerful person who dares to step in his way. When you see him do all the things that you can't do in real life, at least for a short time, your anger is released as you live through him, you live as him for those 2.5 hours. This is catharsis, the process of releasing and thereby getting relief from strong repressed emotions. So basically, if you think that the gangster genre is overdone, it's dying, and we need to stop making them,
തീർക്കാൻ പറ്റുമെങ്കിൽ തീർക്കടാ.